Well, I guess I'm finally live. Oh, gosh. 7 minutes here. I've been trying to get this to go live and just spinning and spinning and spinning. I'm sorry. I hope you guys are here. I hope you say hello. Let me know that you are here. And I will get started, I guess. Okay, got no comments. To use one comment. Okay, so let me get started. I am Michelle from Michelle's Craft Cottage, otherwise known as Shelley. I am a independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, going on 9 years. And hi, Jeanne. There you guys all are. Hi, Tony. Hi, Vesta. Thank you for coming. I'm sorry, the internet. I even asked, hi, Nancy. I even asked AI to help me. And I don't know what was going on. Anyway, here's the materials I needed. You need a traditional card base at 5.5 by 8.5. You need, wait a minute, let me find my light here. I just realized my light shut off when I rebooted. If I can find my switch back here somewhere. There we go. You need another piece of that cardstock cut at 3.25 by 5.25, scored at 1/4 of an inch on the 5.25 side. Coordinating DSP, one piece at 3" by 4 7/8, the 3 inches the width. A different one cut at 4 by 5.25. 4 is your width. White or very vanilla, 4 by 5.25. Some die cuts or fussy cuts to fit approximately 2.5 by 3.75 for your focal image on the front. Liquid glue dimensional stamp sets for sentiments or your images. Coordinating ink, coordinating ribbon if desired. I didn't use it. And coordinating embellishments. It's a fun fold card again. Okie doke. So, number 1 says take your pieces and fold and burnish your score lines. So this one is the one that has that little 1/4 inch score line. And then this one is your standard card. So let's burnish all the score lines. Now you could make this a little bit bigger, this little score line, if you want. Just if you go to a 1/2 inch, add another 1/4 inch to the length of your card. Okay, but it worked fine with mine. The 1/4 inch. You don't really need too much of a tab. Okay. So you want to close your card like this, and this is going to go on top, but you're going to stick it on the inside, okay? So what I did was I centered it here, giving it just a hair. Don't push it flush against the front of the card, because if you do, excuse me, you're going to end up with just a little bit above the back piece, okay? This is also crooked. Let me fix that. You want it to be like a hair over, because you're going to stick it on the back, and then you're going to be able to open this card, pull this up and open it, so you don't want it stuck too low, okay? So what I did was I centered it where I wanted it on the front, and I left it up just a little bit like that. Okay, just a little bit. I don't want too much. Okay, then I reached inside. No, I flipped. No, I did it. I went this way. I turned it around. Make sure I'm even here. Then I made sure that I hadn't moved it. This hair up, just a hair. Enough to fit that cardboard underneath it. I mean the front cover. Okay, so then I held it like this, put glue on this side, and then flapped it over. Okay, that looks a tad crooked, so I'm going to fix it. There, that's better. Okay, and then just flap that over. Did I do that right? No, I didn't. It's supposed to go on the back flap. So you want to put the glue on the front piece. I'm sorry about that, guys. You want to make sure it's a tad above. And centered. And then put the glue on this side. Okay. Then you're going to fold it over like this and fold this closed. Sorry about that. And then burnish it so you make sure so now you've got a flap on the front. And now I'm stuck on both sides. Okay, it's going to be one of those nights. I am just going to leave it like this. And then I'm going to do this so it won't stick anymore. I can cover that up with cardstock. If I need to, I could put something there. Okay, so that's what you're going to have. It's going to fold over like that. So see, it folds nicely. If we put it too close, it wouldn't it wouldn't close nicely. Okay, so I'm going to burnish that again now that it's here. And oh, it's still trying to stick. So I'm going to put some of this on this side too. Good start. There. That should be all set now. Sorry. This is a cute card and I already messed it up. Okay. That's the end of number 1. Number 2 says, oh, that's what we just did. Number 3, center and adhere your 3 by 4 and 7/8 DSP on the flap. Now you're going to notice that this paper goes right to the top of that fold, and that's what you want. You want to leave your borders on 3 sides, this side, the bottom, and that side. Okay? So you want to do this. Who's crafting along with me? And as you can see, I'm using Silly Old Bear paper. That's what I'm featuring tonight. Of course, I missed it. I moved it. Okay. And of course, I moved it way over. It is not my night. Let's try Try this again. Just goes to show best laid plans. Okay, let's try the other side now. You are Vesta? Did you mess up like me? I'm very sorry if you did. Hope you caught it before. You are too, Tony. I hope you caught it before I made it mess up. Okay. Now, if you wanted, you could cut another piece and put it on this side too. I didn't because I thought we had enough enough paper. Okay, that's the end of number 3. Now, number 4 says center and adhere the 4 by 5 1/4 DSP on the card front. So now this is going here. And you're probably saying, interesting colors you put together, Michelle. I kind of like this pink. And I thought, I like pink and brown together. So I said, I'm going to add that to it. So center and adhere this one here. Oh, good, Vesta. I'm glad you didn't. I'm going to have to get some more of this paper. I've used it so much. And I have a class on Wednesday, and I was planning to use it for my class. But I can't because I don't have enough for 5 people. So I had to rethink it. So we're going to use the stamps and try to recreate what I planned to do with the fussy cutting. Okay, so that's the front of your card. I think it looks kind of cool, a little different. Okay, and then number 5 says, stamp a sentiment on the 4 by 5 1/4 white or very vanilla. Now I chose very vanilla because I've got other colors in the focal point that has beige in it. So that's why I chose this, even though that has white in it. Okay. This is still sticking. Okay, now I'm going to be able to cover up part of my mess. So let's center this one. If you're going to stamp a sentiment, you can do it before you glue it. I'm not. I'm going to wait till I need it. And I know what sentiment I want to use. This one will probably end up in revolving file trash can. Unless I could do something to fix it a little bit. This has been, crooked again. Okay. So that's the end of this. Center it here on the inside, on the back of the card. Now that's your inside piece. Okay, that's the end of 5. Not a terribly difficult card. Fussy cut or die cut your focal piece. So I've die cut my focal piece. So now you see why I use pink, because I think that looks really good with it. It shouldn't be wider than your paper here. Okay, and then center and adhere using dimensionals. And see if I got any big ones here. I do. Okay. Now you very easily could put a ribbon on this. It would be really nice. But I chose to keep it simple. Okay, then center it on here. And then it says fussy cut an image for the inside, and I'm going to do that now. I'm going to put Pooh and, what is his name? I always forget his name. Piglet. I'm going to put Pooh and Piglet on the inside. So I'll fussy cut this, which shouldn't take long. So we had an interesting weekend. My husband was up. He's still not feeling well, not sleeping well at night, but he was up at 6:30 on Saturday morning, and he saw an SUV stop. We have a fenced front yard just along the road, not closed in. He saw somebody driving away from having been parked along the front of our fence. Didn't think too much of it. And then he saw what looked like some puppies. And the car drove away. The SUV drove away. So he's looking close, like, are those puppies? And because it was still tad dark out. And then the vehicle, about 20 minutes later, went back from where they came and drove real slow in front of the fence and was looking at our yard. So then my husband realized that somebody dumped off. It's handmade, don't worry about it. It's thank you. Thank you, Nancy. And somebody had dumped off 4, and I have to say, adorable little puppies. And they looked to be around 2-3 months, somewhere in that vicinity. So after a few minutes, one of them came up to the door and was looking in the window and stuff. My husband just, didn't say anything, didn't acknowledge him. But then Charlotte saw him, and he started barking and barking. She started barking. And they all made their way anyway to our front porch. They are as adorable as you could imagine. I don't know how anybody could do that, but anyway. Turned out there was 2 boys and 2 girls. So there was no way I was letting dogs in the house. A, Charlotte would have been barking her brains out. And B, don't know what the story was with them. But they were skinny and their ribs were sticking out. So whoever dropped them off got tired of them and decided that someone else can have them. So my husband went and got some of Charlotte's food and put it in a big bowl, and then brought a pan of water outside for them in the back, outside of the garage. And they went to town. You could tell they hadn't eaten in a while because they were eating. Oh my God, all 4 of them were like going crazy. So later on, one of them, he left the garage door open so we could watch them come and go and stuff because the food was in the garage. And one of them was laying at the bottom of the stairs to come in the house. He was the littlest one. Yes, it is sad that people do that. He was the runt of the litter. I called him Baby. I named him because he was so adorable. And we looked out in his belly. I'm not exaggerating because we could see their ribs. All of a sudden he had a belly like this on both sides. So I looked at my husband and he said, "Oh no, I hope I didn't overfeed them." And I said, "Well, there's nothing we can do about that. You gave enough food that you thought all 4 of them would have enough." So anyway, we called the police department. Well, they don't call them police departments here. They call them Department of Public Safety. So we called them, and the lady on the phone said to me, "What do you want me to do about it?" I said, "Well, they aren't mine, and I would like somebody to come get them." And he said, "Well, but you live in the outskirts of town. I live in what they call the county, Aiken County. I don't live in the city limits." She goes, "I'm going to put you through to the sheriff." So I get the sheriff's office, and I tell them my whole story. She said, "What do you want me to do about it?" I said, "Come and pick them up." So she said, we don't do that. I'll contact the sheriff and he can get in touch with you. So I knew it was because it was the weekend and the warden isn't on the weekends. So anyway, we had to wait till this morning to call them and they didn't, yeah, poor things. I felt so bad for them. And at first they were very, very shy and stayed away from us. But then after they got fed a couple, so I'm going to put my little cutout on the inside here. My Pooh and what I say his name is? I keep forgetting it. So then they got really friendly after we fed them the second time. So John said, I'm going to leave the garage door open, let them, because it's hot out. He said they can stay in the garage. Well, that was a big mistake because they're all puppies. And you know what puppies do, right? They eat everything they can. So he had some styrofoam in the garage. He'd been trying to make a special pillow for himself so he could sleep at night. They chewed that all up into tiny little pieces. And then his band instruments and chords are all in there. And they started chewing, they chewed through one of his chords for the band. So he was not happy when he got up the next morning. So then we started keeping him outside, and just went out and visited with them and stuff like that. Okay, and this should say number 7. I forgot to fix it. So anyway, the warden came today to pick them up this afternoon. We called at 11 and he came around 1 or 2. And I said, they're really adorable. When he got here, he goes, oh my God, are they adorable? He said, I think they're probably about 2 or 3 months. I said, yeah, that's what I was figuring too. Okay, so it says embellish as desired. So John's son came over yesterday and he fell in love with one of the dogs and he named him Charlie. It was a boy one. The one I liked was a girl, Baby. So now we had two of them names, and there was still 2 more. So when the warden picked up one of the girls, because he had us hold them, and he took a picture of them. First he checked to see if they had chips. I said, they're not going to have chips. Somebody dumped them here. I'm not going to do that. So he checked that, and then he wanted a picture of each one of them. So we held them while he did it. And on the 3rd one, he said, this is a girl too. I said, yep. And he said, I'm naming her Blanche from the Golden Girls. So we named 3 out of the 4 of them. One of them was very standoffish. We didn't see her very often. No, that was him very often. But so that was our weekend, tending to little baby puppies. They were adorable. They were infested with fleas. And bug bites and a couple little scars on their behinds. And one of them had a large, probably about this big, on his belly. Looked like it might have been a cyst underneath it. But anyway, that was our excitement for the weekend. Okay, so that's the end of the card. So it goes like that, and like this, and like that. I think it's a cute card if I hadn't messed it up, but I'll fix it. But yeah, so let me show you my prototype that I made. I used the Cajun because I thought it went close to that, and that's one of the colors they tell you to use. And then that, and then here. So that's my 2 cards. It was fun to do this one, if you did it right. Okay. So now we're finished our fun fold card. Take a picture of it. You're welcome, Vesta. Take a picture of it and post it because I really love to see your cards. Thank you for joining me for mystery card number 104. And I'll see you next week, August 3rd. Can you believe it? It's August. Oh my God. My former school is back to school. They went back this past Wednesday, and so did the town that I live in. They went back Wednesday. My grandson, you're welcome. My grandson who goes to school in Augusta, he starts next Wednesday. So my friends were putting things on the internet like, I can't believe we're going back to school already. So Join me next time on August 3rd for 105. Please remember to like, share, and please share my video. I appreciate it. Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. And I hope you like this cute little easy card. It's not hard to do. And you can use so much on the front. And like I said, you could put something on the inside as well to give it a little bit more, I don't know. Late to the party, sorry. How's the hubby doing? He goes to see a pain specialist next week. I think it's August 4th or 5th. He went to his doctor last week and, well, long story short, the ENT doctor that he had gone to had come over because he plays guitar. He'd come over and he said, I'm referring you. He said, there's no way they should have made you last this long with all that pain. So he referred us to the pain doctor. And so he goes next week for that. So we're hoping that maybe he could give him a pain block. I don't know what they call them, a block where they inject it so that it stops, feeling the pain. Because the doctor, his primary doctor, our primary doctor said this could last for years. So there's no way that he could continue functioning like that for years. So we'll go to the pain doctor and see what they recommend. See if he could get a block. Oh, nerve block. That's the word. A nerve block, and at least be able to function again. So yeah, it's been difficult. He's the pain is a little bit better when he takes his medicine, but it doesn't go away, and he's still not sleeping at night. They tried sleeping pills, that didn't work. So we keep trying. Thank you for asking, Marilyn. It was nice of you. Okay, so here's our cards. I hope you liked them. I hope you didn't mess up like I did. And I will see you on the internet, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye, guys. Thank you.